The crystalline spires of Drakmor Prime gleamed under three suns, a monument to draconic supremacy that had endured for 10,000 years. Within the obsidian throne room, King Vexitharan the Eternal sat coiled upon his seat of carved meteorite, smoke curling from his nostrils as another advisor's ashes scattered across the polished floor. "Incompetent," the Dragon King rumbled, his voice like grinding mountains. 73 worlds under my dominion, and not one of you can solve this simple equation." The remaining court officials, scaled beings from a dozen conquered species, trembled. For 3 months, a mysterious blight had been killing the royal gardens, those sacred groves that produced the shimmer fruits essential to draconic longevity. Alchemists, botanists, and sorcerers had all tried and failed. All had burned. In the shadows near the servants' entrance, Maxwell kept his head down and his hands busy with his bucket. At 19 standard years, the human stable boy had learned that invisibility was survival. His people had been conquered 2 generations ago, their green world of Earth now just another resource colony. Humans were considered useful for manual labor, dexterous fingers, adaptable biology, but lacking the intelligence of superior species. "Bring me someone new," Vexitharan commanded. "I care not from which world. If they fail, they die. If they succeed—" He paused, golden eyes narrowing. "They may ask one boon." Maxwell's supervisor, a reptilian score overseer named Tesh, grabbed his shoulder with a clawed hand. "You, human, you tend the lower gardens, yes?" Maxwell's heart hammered. "Yes, sir." "The stable gardens and—" "Good enough. The king needs a gardener." Tesh shoved him forward. "But I'm not a—" Maxwell's protest died as he stumbled into the throne room's center, directly before the Dragon King's terrible gaze. Vexitharan leaned forward, examining the scrawny human in dirt-stained coveralls. "What is this? A jest?" "My lord," Tesh bowed low, "this human tends our stable gardens. They flourish under his care." The Dragon King snorted flame. "Very well. Human, you have 3 days. Cure my shimmer fruits or join the ash pile. Speak. Do you accept?" Maxwell thought of Mariah, his younger sister working in the processing plants below. Of their parents, dead from overwork. Of every human grinding away their lives for alien masters. 3 days to live regardless. Why not try? "I accept, Your Majesty." The royal gardens were magnificent and dying. Trees that should have glowed with inner light stood gray and wilting. Maxwell walked among them, his earth-born instincts sensing something the sophisticated scanners had missed. He knelt, digging his fingers into the soil. Too compact, too processed, too perfect. Over the next 2 days, Maxwell worked without sleep. He didn't use advanced technology or ancient magic. He used what his grandmother had taught him in their tiny victory garden back on Earth. Compost from kitchen scraps, aeration of the soil, and something the draconic scientists had never considered. He talked to the plants. "You're homesick, aren't you?" he whispered to a wilting tree. "All this artificial perfection. You need chaos. You need life." On the morning of the 3rd day, Maxwell introduced earthworms, simple creatures from his homeworld, preserved in the biological archives. He added fungi, bacteria, the unseemly microscopic life that the dragon's sterilization protocols had eliminated. When Vexitharan arrived for judgment, he found his gardens transformed. The shimmer fruits glowed like captive stars, brighter than they'd been in centuries. "Impossible," the Dragon King breathed. "How?" Maxwell stood, exhausted but steady. "Your Majesty, you made the soil too pure. Life needs death. Growth needs decay. The plants were starving in perfection." Vexitharan circled him slowly. 10,000 years of conquest, of accumulated knowledge from 100 civilizations, and a human stable boy succeeds where they all failed. He laughed, a sound like an avalanche. Ask your boon, human. Wealth? A title? Freedom for your family? Maxwell had rehearsed this moment. I want my sister Mariah released from the processing plants and allowed to attend the Royal Academy. A waste. Humans lack the cranial capacity for— I just saved your gardens, Your Majesty. Maybe we lack capacity because no one's ever given us the chance. The court gasped at his audacity, but Vexitharan's eyes gleamed with something unexpected. Granted, your sister will attend, but you, Maxwell, you will become my royal gardener. Over the following months, Maxwell transformed not just the gardens, but the king's thinking. He explained Earth's philosophy of symbiosis, of strength through diversity, of wisdom in humility. And one evening, as they walked among blooming shimmer fruits, Maxwell told the Dragon King about his parents. They died believing they were worthless, Maxwell said quietly, that humans were just tools. Vexitharan stopped walking. For the first time in millennia, he truly looked at the devastation his empire had wrought, not in statistics or conquered territories, but in individual lives, in a boy who'd lost everything yet still chose to nurture rather than destroy. A single tear, mercury bright and burning hot, rolled down the Dragon King's scaled cheek. I have been so very blind, Vexitharan whispered. That tear became legend. The day the Dragon King cried marked the beginning of reformation across 73 worlds. It didn't happen overnight. Empires don't fall in moments. But slowly, humans and other lesser species gained rights, education, voices. And it all began because a stable boy understood what the mighty had forgotten, that true strength lies not in domination, but in recognizing the value in all life, even the smallest, most overlooked, most underestimated, even in a human.